and it comes right back, then I think I feel much better about the long-term viability of it. It's something to stick around. But
well,
like
Jim,
I said,
I
you
can
just can't
assure you
count on
this. Jim, you know this better than I know this, but Joe, I would say if Finance of America, which is backed by Blackstone, which is one of the largest hedge funds in the world, they're a Fortune 100 company. If they believe that they can make money with that product in the future, you better believe it'll be back. If they feel like they can't, then it sure the hell won't come back.
I've actually talked to a couple hard money guys, well, not really hard money guys, but trying to turn them into hard money guys, and explain to them the whole process of what I was doing with you, Tony, and trying to sell them on that product to themselves, trying to get them to lend it to me the same way.
Right. Let me know if that happens. We can do some business, all of us.
Yeah.
This might be this is a good time to put syndications together. And, you know, if people have, if you can get 10 people with $10,000, you can do a $100,000 deal and make some profit. And granted, it's a little bit for everybody, but that's just an example. I mean, if there's some people that have some money, syndicate the deals.
Yeah, myself and my two partners were just talking about that the other day. We kind of wrote down a quick list of a handful, especially like I said, Tony down here in Dayton. I told you just a month ago, I knew 8 guys flipping at least one house and sometimes multiples in Dayton alone. I said, just pulling the 8 guys that we know in Dayton together.
Yeah.
We can knock out 2-3 properties with that, with that kind of buying power quick.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a time for creative thinking. And, who can you put together, who can get together, put some deals together. Because there's gonna be deals. There will be deals, and there'll be good deals before there's lenders available for them. Because the lenders will lag the market. There's do. It just happens that way. So if you can start working on your syndication, you can watch that also build really quick. I mean, look at Joe Fairless. He syndicates giant deals. That's what he does. It's not just Joe does it on this scale. We're just talking about this scale.
Well, and like you said, beating the banks to the market also means you beat a lot of other investors to the market who don't have the funds ready to go.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. So, Matt Perkins didn't come back. Did you have anything else?
I'm going to put something in the group chat. The only other question I had, because I think it'd be easier to look at and talk about, so I'll do that in a minute. My investor, one of my friends, I couldn't give her any advice because I don't know, but she wants to refinance one of her projects. She owes 150 on it. I mean, it was appraised for 205. Does that sound like something that would be an option to do at this time, or a refinance is not happening right now either?
Is it an investment property or a primary residence?
Investment property.
Please hear me lead with that question to this group, because I need to know, because it's very different. So yeah. Again, I don't have any investment property commercial loan product at the moment, but that doesn't mean, Heritage Bank or Fort Bank or Republic Bank. I think all those 3 names were used earlier in this meeting. You can check with them. I mean, I know they're like most of us. They're very picky right now. They're very selective on who they'll make a loan to. So
okay, you said Heritage Bank, Ford Bank, and what was the other one?
Republic.
Okay.
They all have a local presence.
Okay, I'm gonna put something in the chat, and then we can talk about that hopefully in a little bit.
Mary Kay Funding, call her. She's got $1 million to lend. Mary Kay.
You're funny, Tony. But I'd come to you and get it anyway. So
nice. The residential market. You want to switch to that, Jim, or you got something else on the agenda?
No, go ahead.
So people get, wanting to get loans to buy houses to move into. It's slow, but people are doing business. I got 3 pre-approval requests yesterday. I think yesterday was Monday. So for me, 3 in a day is pretty good. So that felt good. Like I can find some positive there. One of them, Joe, was from Farhan. So Farhan's brother is in the market to get a loan and buy a house. So thank you.
Yeah, we're going to look at one today. So hopefully that works out.
Okay, cool. I sent him a pre-approval letter this morning. Interest rates, I locked in a loan yesterday. I'll give you an interest rate update. This was a 761 FICO score, so excellent credit borrower, applying for an FHA loan, which means a 3.5% down payment, so minimal down payment. And I locked her in yesterday at 3.25% for 30 years fixed.
Wow.
I mean, you can't beat the terms on that transaction. So they're excellent. They're excellent terms right now. Rates are still very low. High 2s, low 3s with people, for people with good credit. Mary Kay, are you seeing any, a little, a lot, or a medium amount of activity in the last 7 days? Buyers and sellers.
See, I got my last client closed yesterday. When all this started is when they pended. And I was getting ready to go out and start looking for my next, really start pushing things. It's just a matter of finding the people now that aren't going to lose their jobs.
Or already have lost their jobs.
Yeah, but they can't, if they've already lost their jobs, you can't
get a loan. Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, it's our market. It's still a good market for the people that can buy and sell. But you've got to find government workers, people who are still making money.
So again, interest rates are very low. Inventory is still extremely low. And there's still buyers that want to buy houses. So from that perspective, it's all good, right, Jim? It's all good with those 3 factors in the residential marketplace.
Right.
I think the biggest problem that we all have is just the overall unknown, or the fear factor that's making people wait and see what happens, basically, is the biggest problem we've got.
Right. And TW put up a question, since I'm with a big brokerage, what does the market research we're getting on single family homes in the area say? I will bring that to the meeting next week, because I don't know the answer to that, TW. I don't see any of it because I'm not a residential broker. I have no idea.
I know Mary Kay, Jim, might be able to assist in that, just because she is with a large brokerage, and they do a lot of meetings, a lot of conversations where she works, and they put out a lot of data, don't they, Mary Kay?
Yeah.
Analytics.
I'm trying to understand, what does the market research you are getting for single family homes in the area say?
Days on the market,
overall,
like
we harp on our own personal numbers a lot versus the market, and our numbers are up. But is that our office, or is it's not the market overall? The market is still moving. I mean, houses are still going into multiple offers.
Okay.
It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, the buyers are still there. The sellers, the few sellers that are selling are still there. It's not a bad market. It's just finding the people.
It's still a good time to be a seller, for sure. I mean, yeah, for sure. I wish I had 3 more ready for market next week.
If you're, I think, so you have you have a limited amount of everything right now. You have limited people willing to sell, limited people willing to buy. You have financing available. So, but because you're so limited, supply and demand is still, it's still a seller's market. And we'll see that for a little while. I think until the recovery, the big question is, how does the recovery look short-term and long-term? That's going to be the big question, because there's a strong likelihood that you're going to see some pretty significant fallout during the recovery. People aren't going to all of a sudden get all of their jobs back on the same day.
No.
Like the economy is going to be turned on slowly. And so for those that are, on the tail end of the recovery are going to get left behind.
Mary Kay, hasn't Gary Keller been talking a lot in the last year to you guys about the market is shifting from a seller's market into a buyer's market?
We have been talking about it for 3 years.
Okay.
They have been preparing us how to set our businesses so we're prepared for the shift. So yeah, when all this hit, I mean, I'm not necessarily scared. But I can't just go to Barleycorns and Fridays and find my business now.
Was that why you were always there?
I am a people person.
She's a social marketer.
This sitting inside my house, not being face to face with people, even doing Zooms. I do Zooms like 3-4 times a week with different groups of people. And I've met a lot of new people doing Zoom happy hours with old friends that I don't get to see very often. So it's a good thing that I'm meeting new people this way, but I'm just so much more of I like talking to people face to face. And then I want to come home. When I come home, I'm like, leave me alone. I'm ready to digress, relax.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a whole different ballgame.
Eric, what about your activity in the last 7 days with buyers and sellers as a realtor?
Well, I've got a couple buyers, but we can't find nothing that they want. I have one deal that's pending. We're scheduled to close here hopefully within the next week. That's really about all I got going on.
So you would classify it as low activity.
Yep. I do. Like I said, I have that one listing coming up here soon. That's mine. It's a buy level. So that'll be coming up on the market next. Waiting for granite, waiting for, all the final touches.
Is that out in Independence?
It is. Yep.
How much is the price?
It's $189,900. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car with a pool, everything new, granite, everything, carpet, of course, top to bottom.
Call me, text me, chat with me after this meeting. I've got an Independence pre-approval I put out yesterday.
Okay.
At that price point, up to 200 in Independence.
Sounds good. I'm a couple weeks out still, so.
And they are too.
Cool.
Their lease is up May 31st.
Nice.
They like to close in June.
Yep. Sounds good.
Again, that's one of the values there, Jim. That's why we do these meetings still. We can't be face to face, Mary Kay, but we can do business. We can do business. I got a qualified buyer for Eric just because of that 15-second, commercial he ran there.
I still have some small, Tony, I've got something to send you too from the message you sent me this morning. I have a couple of small fix and flips. I still got the big one over in Fort Thomas, and hopefully I'll know later today. My 14 unit may come back on the market. Although the buyer offered the seller financing, which he should do. He's crazy not to do it. He's going to give him 43% down. I mean, how do you lose? Finance it for 3 years or less. It's 7% interest. My buyer's DCR is just off, so a conventional bank won't do him, and that's the only reason his loan's not approved. So other than that, I mean, he can get next year. His DCR will be fine next year, and he can get financed anywhere. But I mean, I've told the sellers, I'm like, you can't lose. You're going to get, it's a $650,000 deal. You're getting $270,000 up front, and then like $2,400 a month. We're managing it. Like, we're making the payment. You can't lose. I said the worst case scenario is something happens that we don't pay, and you get it back, and you keep all the money. I mean, you should do that deal. but I'm waiting to hear from him. If he doesn't accept the seller financing, that's going to go back on the market. But I also warned him, you know, it's tough to get done.
Jim, what does Andrew and what does TW on this meeting? What do they do? Are they realtors? Are they investors? Are they commercial people?
They were on last week. Andrew and TW, either one. If you guys want to come on and introduce yourselves again, TW is from Louisville. Andrew is from up near Cleveland.
Okay.
Andrew's a broker with Berkshire Hathaway. He's a new commercial guy with us.
Okay. And TW?
If I recall correctly, TW, you're an investor in Louisville. Yeah, he's an investor in Louisville.
Okay, I see the chat there.
Andrew's learning. But this is a good place for it. I mean, because we can talk about, different things, and from these small $50,000 fix and flips to your $200,000 residential deals to any commercial deal, any size you want to talk about. I'm happy to talk about. I have a new word. I got my little dog right here. You see he's laying on the ground right next to me. And my God, he's got the worst gas. Holy cow. Puppy farts. This dog is awful. I'm taking him back to the vet tomorrow.
He keeps asking me, Dad, when are you going to take me to see Max? I want to go see him.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love him, and he's great. Like he's growing like crazy, but he's got belly issues, and he farts in his sleep, and he lays right here, and it's like it blows me out. I'm like, God,
who wants to do this today with me? 1 year Facebook memory. That's Rabbit Hash. God, I want to go.
We can go down.
Mary Kay, you in? Trip to Rabbit Hash? You want to go to Rabbit Hash today?
Sure.
Hey, let's
get a motorcycle I can ride on the back of.
I just sold mine. I just sold my bike 2 weeks ago.
What'd you do that for? It's getting nice out.
Because my neck surgery was delayed, and I can't ride. I can't hold the bike up. It hurts so bad riding it. I'm down for a day or two after I ride with my neck.
Oh wow.
So I can always buy another bike. Hell, I think I'm just going to buy a boat. I've been looking at boats. The weather's
That's even
nice.
better.
I can get out on a boat. How we can take a boat to Rabbit Hash?
My best friend, Bob. I don't know if anyone on here knows Bob or not. Anyway, he just bought $100,000 Supra boat, 23 foot, I think. He's never been a boater in his whole lifetime. Number one. So then the question was, how are you going to pull it? He has a $110,000 sports car, Lexus, whatever it's called. He's kind of rich, but and so he went out yesterday and bought a $78,000 truck with a Raptor engine in the truck to match the Raptor boat engine. So can't wait for everything.
Just so you know, I'm not getting anything like that. I'm either going to get a little bow rider or a little cabin cruiser. I may even get one of those, what do you call it, pontoon boats.
No, don't get a pontoon. Either get an open bow or get a cabin cruiser.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been looking at.
I'm water skiing. I'm going to tell you not to get the cabin cruiser because they fuck up the water.
Yeah,
I got a deck boat I may sell, a 21-foot deck boat. We love it.
Why are you selling it?
Because it sits in a garage. I don't get time to get it out. Last year, I used it twice last year. It holds
Deck
11
boats are
people. It's got a V8. Best of both worlds. You got the speed of a V-hull, then you got the seating of a pontoon.
I was going to say that's the best mix between a sports boat and a pontoon. You're set there.
Absolutely. We went to we had an 18-foot bow rider. Loved it. Just outgrew it. Then we went to a 24-foot barge pontoon. I hated it because I couldn't pull a tube out of the wake. I mean, it was literally a barge. We had it for a year, then we went to the deck boat, and we love it. It's the best boat.
What's something like that cost, Eric? Used?
I don't even know. I haven't really looked up the value in a while, but it's one of them bittersweet things. Like I really, 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 really do not want to sell it, but I don't want to see it sitting there either. But
that's why I sold the bike. I could have kept the bike. Wouldn't have been just taking up space in the garage, but
Well, do you think you'll ever ride again? Like, I mean, after your surgery, or do you think that's just a done deal?
No, I'll ride again. I will say this. I don't like to see the bike sit there and not be ridden. That's why I sold it.
Well, can't
But after
either.
the surgery, I'll get another bike, and even if it hurts to ride, I'll ride. I've rode all my life. That's all I've ever done.
I got to hop off here pretty quick. I put something in the chat.
Yeah, what was that?
I was hoping to get a little bit of input on that before I get off today.
You're saying it's worth $80,000. They pay $700. The owner will finance it at $55,000, and so the purchase price is $50,000. So he's gonna finance $35,000.
Yeah. And I'm not happy with that down payment. I mean, I've got a flip going on right now. I've got my money tied up, so.
But you don't. I mean, you don't.
I don't know. Would that be? I mean, if I feel like there's a deal there, if it's something I can do, but if you know anyone that would be interested in it, even, or some way that I could structure it so I could afford it. I can't afford the 20K
It's a skinny deal, though. I mean, it's a super skinny deal. And you're looking at, I don't know. They're not even. It needs no work whatsoever.
It's not updated by any means, but it's got new mechanicals, new roof.
I mean, it's skinny. It's not going to be an easy. I mean, it's not going to be an easy flip just from the standpoint of you have a tenant in there.
Yeah.
So you're going to have some hold. I don't know. It seems it's skinny because of the. I mean, if it was something you could just buy vacant, go in, fix, flip, and get out, they'd be a little more doable.
Yeah.
That's super skinny. At the way it's structured, it looks skinny. Joey, you're on for like the last few minutes of the second half.
All right, guys, I gotta hop off. Thanks again.
Man. No problem. I think people are starting to drift, but we can. Joey, you're late. Sorry, buddy.
Let go.
I
lost track of time.
Nah, these muscle guys. Anyway, give them the shit. Anyway, has anybody got anything else they want to cover before we get off here?
Well, Joey, start with you. You got anything? You want to buy something? You want to sell something?
I do not have anything right now. Just letters though, so hopefully I'll be hearing back.
Okay.
All single family, like flip type stuff.
I need your uncles to buy that place in Fort Thomas.
I sent it to him. He said it was just out of his interest range. He just bought like 4 or 5 places in Anderson area, so.
Makes sense. Well, I'm going to go look at those 2 in Dayton this week on Friday. Hopefully Joe will just want them and make my life easy.
If not, we can send it over to Tony. He's ready to buy. He's got all the money in his pocket.
Oh yeah.
I am ready to buy. That's true. I'm ready to buy a.
You can go with us.
Okay. That's the first invite I've heard.
Go with us Friday.
Yeah. I'm a buyer.
As I got to jump off here as well. I appreciate y'all and see y'all next week.
All right. See you next week. I'm going to, Joe and Tony, I'll see you on Friday. Joey, get together with me after the meeting. TW, thanks for coming on as usual. We'll be back next week.
Are we staying on this one or a new one?
No, we'll get a new one. But we can talk on Zoom, or I can call you or message you, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
All righty. Thanks for
guys.
listening and being on. Thank you all very much. It's been another edition of Bourbon Bites in Business. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Peace out.